between documentary and you know, if you do a documentary, you never know what will happen. If you do a feature film, you try to avoid that. So this is actually the main difference. I think that you're more like hunting for something or searching for something if you do a documentary, because usually you don't know what people will say. Maybe you do some research before, but you're going around the world and trying to catch the moment. And if you do a feature, you try to plan everything and fix everything. So that's the main difference. No, I love both because it depends on the subject you want to do something about. Documentaries can be very touching and very real, and you get like a present, you know. You can, if you catch the right moment, it is great. You go home like, oh man, we were there with the camera. This will not usually happen to you if you direct a feature film. If you do a feature, you have to plan what will be the big moment. The first idea was pretty easy. It was like, you know, what can happen to a teenager who feels misunderstood or not understood? What can we do with her which makes a big change? So, and that was the idea. If she tries to commit suicide and it doesn't work, so everybody will look on her, all the attention of everybody around her will be there, and I thought this could be a great start for a comedy. There's no real connection to my personal life with suicide, but I think it's not a movie about suicide, it's a movie about life and death and how precious life is. And Martin, my producer, and me, we both lost some people in our lives very early, so I think we know what we're talking about if it comes to missing somebody who's not there anymore. So I think, you know, when I was young, like 15 or 20 years old, I thought, you know, I will live forever, and my life was nothing very special for me. I smoked and I drove my motorcycle like I was mad, and you know, now I'm 20 years older and something changed in my head. So I feel that life is a really, really precious thing, and you don't know how long you will be here. So I think you should love your own life, and you should give love to other people, because that's the only thing that matters and that makes you cope with, you know, in the end we all will be dead. Everybody has to face it, and normally you don't do it. But if you really think about it, it's scary. So not learning to do compromises, but not thinking compromises from the beginning. Have your own view, have your own story, and learn to cope with a lot of frustration, because it's a long, long, long way till you can do the things you really want. But it's worth it, because the 6 weeks we were shooting, it was one of the greatest times in my life. It was, every day felt like a big, big, big present.
For a young director, it would be find a good producer. And for a young producer, it would be find a good director, actually. Somebody you trust. That's all that matters. Somebody you trust and you can work with. That's everything. As I said, we trust each other, so that's very important to do such a project. You have times where you really don't know if you're ever going to shoot that film, or if ever anybody's going to like it. So you have to stay together there. And I get the greatest risk is to just to bring the thing home, you know, financially, in the work, to make the film you wanted to make, the director wanted to make, and you with him. That's the most important thing, and the greatest risk, that you have a film that you don't wanted to have at the end. I guess we have the film we wanted to make, and that's very close. That's very satisfying. Oh yeah, that's a long story, because we did a lot of castings in Germany, in all the big cities. We saw a lot of tapes, And we noticed Jasna at a very early stage, but we just didn't thought she might fit in. And then like 6 or 5 weeks before shooting, we still hadn't found the girl. So Mark said, I'll go to Vienna and see Jasna, just in case, you know, just so we have seen her. And he came back and he said, well, it's her. No doubt, it's her. Believe me. And I said, okay, then we'll just go for her. And she's great, she's awesome. She's the best choice we could ever dream of making. So it was good he went, it was good she had time for us. That's brilliant.